It may be recalled that one of the reasons for the existence of Dravidian parties in Tamil Nadu was because of their protest against what they called as Hindi imposition. During the 60s, we saw several riots and several lives were also lost because they felt that the north of India, particularly the Hindi bastion, was trying to dominate their identity, which was essentially Tamil and Dravidian. Since then, the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam or DMK has forever spoken about Hindi imposition. 2 years ago, there were t-shirts which went viral saying Hindi Theriyadu Poda, which actually means I do not know Hindi, go away. Now recently, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin has written to Amit Shah and has said that he opposes the non-inclusion of Tamil in the computer test for recruitment to the CRPF. Stalin highlighted that the notification mandated only the use of English and Hindi, and it was discriminatory and unilateral. This has to do with an examination. Do you think this is only a political stunt because it only happened on Thursday and the exams are right around the corner? Or do you think this is yet another attempt by Stalin to insist that he is first a Tamil and then maybe someone who will even allow Hindi to get into the doorstep of Tamil Nadu?
Well, so that if you look at it, it's both ways. By having to stand against Hindi, you're reasserting the Dravidian idea, the Dravidian ethos of promoting Dravidian language, and in this case, of course, Tamil. But then the larger issue is also there, which is to say that those who would be coming from the Hindi belt and giving those exams would be at an advantage because Hindi is their mother tongue. That is what the DMK has been saying. Why is it that those who have Hindi as their mother tongue get an advantage in such exams? Because these exams are conducted in English and in Hindi,
right,
but not the people from the southern states, those who come from Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, or with regards to Karnataka as well.
Yeah.
So they feel, or the DMK says that this is discriminatory when it comes to that aspect.
But Verghese, also another point that Stalin makes is that 25 marks out of 100 is for Hindi comprehension. And he said, what does a student do from Tamil Nadu? I'm sure that applies to Kannadiga student as well, you know. But the rest, you know, I'm just playing the devil's advocate. They may say, fine, 25 marks, maybe you can't, but you can crack the rest, right? So why is it that you are only focusing on that? Verghese, what do you say to such an argument then?
Well, that is what most of these parties have also been saying, that Hindi is getting a backdoor entry for universal legitimization when it comes to India's civil services, or when I say civil services, not the IAS alone, like CRPF recruitment exam, railway recruitment exam. So Hindi is becoming the dominant factor in it. So they think that there's an agenda on the part of the central government to push Hindi backdoor wise. So when you're talking about 25 marks and in a public exam like this, where each point marks counts, losing out on 25 marks in fact pushes and puts them at a disadvantages.
Right. And you know, the thing is that NEET, for instance, I mean, there was the longest fight that, you know, the entire contention about NEET was, look, this child has studied in Tamil medium till class 8. Suddenly you ask him or her to do this exam in English. So it was a bone of contention. Don't you remember how many suicides had occurred, you know, in Tamil Nadu owing to failure, or rather, even forget failure, you know, Verghese, it was the fear of sitting for that exam.
The fear happened because, again, most of them have been trained in their first language, which would be their native mother language. And most of the people, especially in Tamil Nadu, who wanted or had aspirations towards NEET, found that they were losing out because either they have to express in the second language, which could be English, or any other language that has been made mandatory. And it is not that these exams were not earlier in their own languages. These exams were held in various regional languages as well. It is in the last 15 years that there has been an effort to dilute the regional languages away from these.
But then SSLC, if you see, you can give it in the regional language, isn't that right? Or UPSC mains, you can give your regional languages.
So that is the duality of the policies which the government in Tamil Nadu is trying to highlight, or the party in Tamil Nadu has been trying to highlight it. So this puts them into a disadvantage, is what they say, that there is an unfair advantage that is being built into a system for a certain group of people from a geographical region, while the people who are supposed to be also presented, even though you have the quota to fill, like in this around 500 seats are to be filled from Tamil Nadu, but they might not make it to it because of this language disadvantage.
Because of those 25 marks particularly, and also English, you know, for a lot of them, Verghese, We sitting here in studios, we may think, but then for a lot of students in Tamil Nadu, English is also alien, although the government has always said Tamil and English, because they feel that if you study English, their contention being that you have more exposure to the world. But when you're writing an exam, I think that is also a bone of contention.
Well, any language other than the language which is native to the person would tend to be the second language of the person. So when a person is expressing in its in his or her communication, it would reflect on it.
Right.
Understanding, comprehension, all these factors are there when a person writes an exam.
Right.
So this is where they tend to lose, is what the government has been saying, and that's why they have been fighting. We have the NEET issue that was highlighted, as well as now the CRPF issue. But later things also might in fact see this.
Right, Verghese. And also joining me are the guest I promised right at the beginning of this show, Gladston Xavier, who's a political analyst, and Venkat Narayanan, who's a senior journalist. A very warm welcome to both of you. Now, you know, this keeps coming up, the Hindi imposition question by Muka Stalin, you know. Now with CRPF, I want you to take turns. Mr. Xavier, if you could go first. Do you think that this is pertinent? This is really addressing the needs of Tamil Nadu, where he feels that if you have a mandatory computer examination in Hindi and English, and particularly 25 marks only for Hindi comprehension, a lot of students will be disadvantaged, Mr. Xavier.
See, thank you. One of the areas that has been a serious bone of contention is language discrimination. The point here being, it's not that when Mr. Stalin is raging or something comes from the south, he's not fighting for Tamil language alone. He is fighting for the entire language diversity that's present in this country. So please don't be mistaken that this is only a Tamil issue. It's not a Tamil issue. This is a larger issue that we need to address as a nation. See, one of the major problems that we have been facing is giving supremacy of one language over the other. And here the point being Hindi. Now, we don't study Hindi in our school. We don't have Hindi medium education. And yet we have one of the largest, oldest languages being spoken, that is Tamil over here. And then which does not have a right place. Today, if you see, I would strongly stand by Mr. Stalin when he's talking about advocating for Tamil or any other regional language for that matter. Because the CRPF or any other government body, where it's supposed to be serving within a regional framework, it's better to have people speaking their own language, especially when it comes to organizations of security or the uniformed services. Today, the issue comes as in the railways, for example. A TTE who's working in Tamil Nadu, who's supposed to know the language, does not speak Tamil in a Tamil train, in Tamil Nadu train. How do you expect like a TTE who comes to inspect your tickets is asking in Hindi, asking my name in Hindi?
Right.
How am I supposed to? The train is in Tamil Nadu.
Yes, Mr. Xavier. I think that's a very that's a very practical question that you have. Go on. Go ahead.
The next issue is the next issue is in a bank. For example, the banks are in Tamil Nadu. The rural areas happen to me in a rural area in a bank where I do my farming banking practices. Over there, when I go, the manager speaks only Hindi and he wants me to communicate in Hindi. Now, I can understand some broken Hindi, given my urbanized travel and traveling all over the country. I can understand a little bit of Hindi, but my Hindi is very broken. Now, for me, I can make sense of what he's saying. Now, a farmer carrying a yellow bag walks into his room and he makes a fluent conversation with that farmer in Hindi, asking him a battery of questions. Now, how can this even be justified